Anyway, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to introduce Matt Kunz, great friend of mine. I'm all about it, and I'm going to vote for him. I know that. And I actually live in Milton now, so I can vote. So.
Thank you, Tim. That was great. Thank you to my wife for allowing me to do this and giving me the courage to do this for Donna. As soon as I told her I was thinking about doing this and there might be an opportunity for this position, her first response was, do it. Do it, do it. Tim's right. You know, a little bit about myself real quick. First of all, I'm no stranger to competition. It really began with my parents. My dad played for the Atlanta Falcons. He was the #2 draft pick behind O.J. Simpson, 8-time Pro Bowler, 7 times All-Pro, twice the offensive lineman of the NFL. My mother was 5'4", has the dominant genes. So regardless, I'm not nearly as big as he was. And you never really know where your life is going to take you. But the reality is sometimes we're not all meant to be great athletes. Still, it didn't keep me from growing up in Las Vegas. My parents had 28 horses at one time, and we used to show and raise apples of horses. So my mother said specifically if I didn't support the horse community, she would kill me. So that is definitely one thing we want to do. We'll talk about that in a second. Followed in my dad's footsteps to the University of Notre Dame. Actually did not want to go there originally, but when I did go there, I found out that was a place where I felt more at home than when I was at home, because it's a great place because of the values of which it's supposed to stand for. My mother always tried to ingrain in me exactly what principles I should have, and I always try to carry that. You don't always know how to define it, but you know you should have it. So as you go forward, I started out in Chicago, moved down to Atlanta in 1999, met my wife, who was already living in the Villages of Devonshire Apartments in what was soon to be Milton in 1997. We met in 2000, got married in 2001, and then we bought a house up in this district, 2002, and then she put it on the inside of my wedding ring. So it just, when you find the one you love, all right, it's always, like she's always there with me. But and then in 2003, we bought our house up on this district in District 2, and love the deer. We have horses that are in someone else's property behind our yard, but it's still a great feeling being a part of that community. Really right away got involved in the community. I've been coaching youth football at AYFA for 6 years. I coach at Chattahoochee High School as well. Somehow I wound up coaching all those teams that were 0-8 and taking them to be competitive and learn how to win. But that was always a fun time. We did that. Even Chattahoochee High School, those seniors that won the state championship last year, I coached them as freshmen. They were 0-8-1 as 8th graders. And we actually wound up winning 2 games, and then they won the state championship as seniors. So for whatever reason, I take a place that's small and has potential, and we build it up. And that's really where I think we are with Milton right now. In my terms, and what I think about Milton is that we're still crawling along. We need to stand on our own 2 feet. I'm a financial advisor by trade. Right? I know the rules of economics. I'm a big studier of Thomas Sowell and the Hoover Institute. He wrote Basic Economics. It's 600 pages. If you want to know my economic philosophy, $30 at Barnes & Noble. Everybody needs to read that book. All right, absolutely, because it tells you the role of prices in an economy. And the reality is that there's competition in this world. We try to say there's not, but that's why we have elections. Because of the debates, because of where we are, we can make change. But the reality of competition is we have Canton to the west, we have Johns Creek to the east, we have Alfred and Roswell to the south, we have Cumming to the north. Those dollars that right now in this tough economy we're fighting for, it's not a matter of everybody making a pie bigger. Right now it's a matter of market share. And the question is our businesses getting money here today? And as we look around in this shopping plaza, we have to be honest with ourselves that there's an issue. There is something going on. So here we are. What are we going to do with Milton? I think that we can be better than what we are. Not saying we're not special. We are. We have great potential. The reality is that we have an equestrian community that's here that we need to not only preserve, but promote. We need to make sure that the equestrian community stays, because that is a big part of who we are. If we lose that sense of ourselves. So we do that with horse trails. I've rode horses all my life. We have all these horses everywhere. No one rides unless it's on someone's property. We need to develop those trails. How are we going to do that? The next question is, we have 2 areas of Milton on either side of Highway 9. On the east and on the west. We're a very diverse group, as evidenced by our being written about in the New York Times from our local politics here. The question is what are we going to become? Should we just stay divided that way? No. So what we want to do in this campaign, and if I get elected, is launch what I call the One Milton Initiative. We do that by coming together as a group. The only way we're going to compete against the other neighboring areas is by coming together. And the only way we're going to do that is by having our kids understand that they are together, that we get along, that we make sure that we compete together in other areas to learn how to do that. The day that a Milton youth football team beats a Roswell youth football team at Birmingham Park is going to be a great day. But not only that, we have local area parks as well, where the kids can learn to grow up and learn to be appreciative of this community. And that will affect us not just in the next 4 years, but in the next 40 years. The next question then is, how are we going to help the businesses here? Right now, the entrepreneurs that are already here are having issues.